Stay away from me.
Storm's coming, buddy. It's gonna be real hard to find a way out.
We've managed to keep people leaning forward and paying attention to the story we're telling, that we've worked so well together. You know, it's a true family, this cast and crew and writers and beyond. And it's a special time, and I think that will only grow in all of our esteem as we move on.
Never, ever in my wildest imagination did I ever think that it would appeal to such a broad range of people and sort of hit a zeitgeist, and that 8 years later I would be here talking to you. Never.
I don't think anyone walked into Dexter thinking that it would become what it was. It felt like from the very beginning it was just going to be a small little show, and hopefully we can catch an audience.
If it's a terrific script, sometimes it seems pretty obvious that it will do well. The very first script I read of Dexter was probably the best television pilot I'd ever read. I mean, it had a real profound effect on me. When it came together and the casting was so spot on, it was a happy surprise that it turned out so well.
I really thought that was it. I thought I was gonna die.
No, you won't live forever.
I thought maybe I was getting a dozer.
I thought I would die, because everyone dies when they get invited to be part of the show. So I was very excited to A, have an amazing storyline, have so much to work with, and B, to have survived, and C, to have been invited to be part of season 8 and to be standing here today, you know, finishing out this amazing show.
The whole gag of the series is that here's a guy who's a serial killer, works in a police department, and none of the cops knows what he does. Who knows what I know at this point? Because his dad was my partner, so we don't know.
How am I gonna get out of Miami?
Well, no one's looking for a woman traveling with her husband and child. I'm thinking the three of us could leave together.
I will miss the people. It's been an extraordinary group of actors and the writers and our production team. But I'll also miss my man, Dexter, because I have lived for 9 years thinking about moral issues and thematic issues always refracted through what Dexter is feeling. And he's been a living, breathing, real person in my life, and now he's gone. It's like a major breakup.
I'll miss my friends and I'll miss doing these things because I like these guys. You know, it's been pretty much a perfect job.
Sometimes the role is less important than the people you work with. And like, this was a great grouping of people, from the writers, the producers, the actors. You know, I'm going to miss going to that job every day.
I think working with everyone, Michael and Jennifer and Desmond and everyone, you know, they're great people. Yeah. It was one of the highlights of my career so far, I would definitely say, yeah.
Well, it's rare to come up with something this interesting and this, you know, continually intriguing.
There aren't that many times throughout your career where you really get to work on a show that you not just love and it's a happy place, but you really respect the show and think that it's a challenge to try to live up to what you're creating. So, you know, I'll miss all of it, really, I think.
I'm not paralyzed. I'm making a choice.
Son, you're choosing to be afraid because for the first time in your life, you think you've got something to lose.
We have finished exactly the way I have always thought the whole series should end, and it was always the way it was designed.
It's a great last season, and you know, when you have a show this successful with this much interest, of the audience interest, you really want to end it right, and I think they really did.
I think it's going to be a really satisfying end for everyone.
I feel very good about the way we ended. I think, you know, we tried to deal with all the characters in a very succinct way, but ultimately this is a show all about Dexter, so of course that's where our focus was.
I would imagine that there will be a broad spectrum in terms of the response. You know, some people will probably be 98% satisfied, and some people will be 98% perplexed. Part of the fun of waiting for these final 2 episodes to air is just to see how people respond. I mean, I obviously won't get a first-hand account of everyone's response, but I'll get a sense of it.
When Dexter is like, should I stay, should I go, should I do what I want, or should I serve the code and stay? And in that moment of hesitation, all hell breaks loose. So that will give you a clue.
Don't go down with her, Dexter.